that the industry pro's choice is Silver Tiger Production.
STP is a full-service production agency offering sound, lighting, installations, talent buying, staffing, backline equipment rental, and sales. Kapow!
It's everything in the entertainment performance industry. It's all that.
SilverTigerProduction.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists using tool and the very best in analog gear. Really though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud.
EnterTalk Radio, you're in all things music.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Awesome. And welcome to another installment of Sharpen the Axe. I hope everyone's holidays was awesome. How was yours, Paul?
Mixed blessing. It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a Christmas Eve show with my band Up Funk over in Encinitas in San Diego. It was really good. It was fun.
Right on. Now, does your family celebrate any or have any particular Christmas or holiday traditions at all?
My family's from the former Soviet Union. We didn't have Christmas there. You could get shot for things like that back then. We celebrated. It was kind of a lot of the Christmas stuff was rolled into that. We had Christmas tree and presents and a commie version of Santa. we had a
Santa Claus,
Grandpa Frost. So a lot of the same stuff, just not overtly religious.
Oh well, I did not know that you were not allowed to celebrate Christmas in the former Soviet Union. We learned so much on Sharpen the Axe.
No religion really at all back then. I mean, this was 80 where I grew up. I didn't come to the States till 89. So in the 80s, all that stuff was a little bit more relaxed. Like they wouldn't throw you in a gulag necessarily, but it's not. And then now, after the fall of communism, like religion exploded there. There's so many churches and Christians. It's been repressed for so long.
Yeah.
People are jumping on it now.
I know the Russian Orthodox Church has a lot of power there, but. Mm-hmm. At least you get to celebrate Christmas now. Yeah,
I got my hat.
Yeah, you are. Santa Paul over there.
How's yours?
It was good. I worked part of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. My parents do for all my stepbrothers and sisters and their families a Christmas Day prime rib breakfast, which is recent tradition, but. Prime rib, eggs, potatoes, everything. I look forward to it every year now.
Actually, I got a prime rib breakfast Christmas Day also.
Nice!
It hit the spot for sure.
Yeah, when they first talked about it, I forgot how many years ago now. It didn't seem to make much sense to me, but I mean, hell, what? Can you beat that?
It sounds stupid, but it works.
Totally.
But aside from that, I've been kind of sick all through the holidays. So that's kind of been a bummer. I'm still a little sick, so if I'm coughing in the mic, forgive me.
Right before, I think on the 22nd or 23rd, I put out on Pitbull Audio, the blog there, a little last-minute gift list for 7 or 8 under $100 and 7 or 8 under $50. And, I mean, some of them have sold.
Gift ideas.
Yeah, little stocking stuffers.
And technically, we were supposed to do this show last week before leading into Christmas, but I was just in horrible shape then.
Yeah, Paul was not feeling very well.
So we're, a day late, a buck short, but I'm still got my Santa hat on.
Hanging in there for the holidays.
Shout out to anonymous girl on a plane. If you tuned in last episode when I was complaining about my hellish flight from Chicago, I didn't know it at the time, but that wasn't the half of it. The worst part about it is I was sitting next to this girl with some kind of a plague. She was coughing on me the whole time, and I've been fighting it for like 2 weeks, and I'm still nowhere near.
Yeah, so. that flight has haunted you.
It has. This is maybe it's like. Maybe it's like Lost. Maybe we crashed and this is just purgatory for me.
I never got into that show. I wanted to, and then just...
Oh, did I just spoil alert for you?
Well, now I don't have to watch it, I guess, now that I know it's all
you got
about.
The punchline.
But yeah, totally. Although I'm not like, spoiler alerts don't really affect me because I still enjoy seeing the story unfold, even if I know what the ending is.
And the lame thing about Lost is everybody pretty much figured out the punchline by like season 2 or 3, and then the producers pretended for like 6 more seasons that's not what's going on, and they just kept convoluting things more and more, and then at the end it was what everyone figured out already anyway.
Yeah, Dave was kind of just waiting like, okay, we get it, guys, now just wrap it up already.
Yeah. Can't, making too much money.
Yeah, hell, if you got a gig like that, why not?
And if you don't have a lot of money, we have a bunch of pedals for you.
Yeah, that's right. I brought mostly pedals and all some sort of noise generating devices. Although on that list, I did have other stuff on there like a buffer. Well, actually, I did bring the buffer today, but like cables from Rattlesnake, who is a new addition to the roster of Pitbull Audio. They are made in. Oh crap. I'm sorry, Hank, from Rattlesnake Cables. I think it's Montana, but they're American-made, high-quality cables. We have a dealer version, which is in like a dirty tweed sort of color on the jacketing, 15 feet for $60. That is an awesome product. But today I brought more of the stuff that you can hear, since this is mostly a audio streaming show, although we do have the video. I have, to start off with on this half, we have the Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, which retails for $49. The Joyo JF37 Analog Chorus, which we sell for $41.99. And last in line here is the BJF Buffer Split from One Control, which is $76, which is a really awesome utility device. But let's start off with the Boss here. So a lot of people actually start with the Boss SD1.
Kind of a pretty standard.
Yeah. It's always this or the DS1 or the what's the black and orange, the HM, the heavy metal. That tends to be people's first. But, most of our listeners will probably be familiar with this. I have the drive and tone set at noon. Yeah, let's turn her on.
I got a little hot here.
Oh yeah, I turned the drive up so that. Yeah, I mean it's a good old school overdrive. And this one especially, like you got a niece, nephew, brother-in-law, whatever that plays guitar, or especially if they're starting out. Yeah, $49.
Nice bluesy tone.
Especially if you drive the tone back.
Not bad.
So you've definitely owned these before, right?
I actually haven't owned this one. One of my first, my Boss pedal, I had the Metal Zone.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was trying to think of, the Metal Zone.
The Metal Zone. That was my go-to distortion thing.
I can't. I think my first distortion overdrive might have been an Ibanez, actually, the Tone Locks, the Silver Box series, or it was a DoD Grunge.
I had my first one actually was a DoD. I don't remember what it was called. I remember it was Hot Pink. Hot Pink.
Yeah,
I got it for like $15 or something from someone, and I think it was garbage.
Yeah. What's funny is a lot of those old DoDs and are like collectibles now.
They are. Maybe not. Maybe it was good. Maybe the rest. I mean, the rest of my gear was garbage for sure.
Yeah.
And I was a garbage. Well, come on.
Well, yeah,
for
when
sure.
you're starting out, yeah. It's funny though, seeing a lot of those old school starters, or the old DoDs, for example, the Meat Box, which was a sub octave. They reissue now, but I think the original one was going for upwards of I think almost 200 or 300, maybe more sometimes. Or the Gonculator, which again they reissued, but that was going for a pretty penny too. Although I don't quite think you're ever going to see a SD1, a Boss at that price ever. Let's turn her up though. I like it when it's nice and bright. That's pretty much maxed out on gain there. And the brightness all the way up. I like everything to be just obnoxiously bright. But yeah, a $49 stocking stuffer, not a bad plan at all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of the stuff we tend to showcase here is top flight stuff. $300 pedals, which are beautiful to have, but I don't have any of those.
Yeah,
I have a bunch of Boss pedals on my board.
I used to rock a ton of Boss. Although I realized the other day I could probably sell most of my pedal board and actually afford a car. Especially since I don't have a car yet. I have all that crap on my pedal board. Well, none of it's crap. It's great stuff. I just spent maybe too much.
Yeah.
Next in line here, we got the Joyo Analog Chorus, which Joyo, they make a little bit of everything. All kinds of drives, modulation. We have a delay from them in the second half. Let's give this thing a shot. I forgot how the chorus of that goes right in the middle of playing it, but I mean, it's definitely not bad at all. It does the trick. It does exactly what you want to do, which is that old school 80s chorus sound.
Yeah, very 80s.
Yeah. It does sound actually. That's about the max of the rate if you want to try to get like a whirly sound out of it.
It's not super crazy.
Yeah, not at all. There we go, wait. And I haven't had a chorus on my board for years and years, but lately it does come to mind a bunch. But it's a fun as hell sound. And this one right here, I think we sell for $41.99.
Nice.
So again, another easy stocking stuffer, another great starter modulation for some beginner.
And especially, we're not even necessarily beginner. Like you're in a cover band, you're going to use a chorus for maybe a couple of songs. You don't want to spend $250 on a chorus pedal necessarily for that, but just throw in there, get the point across.
Exactly.
You're done.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, all kinds of companies build amazing choruses. Earthquaker does, of course. Wampler, well, does Wampler? I think they do. Or Walrus Audio has the Julia now, which is another popular one. But you are spending like $150 or more at least with any of those.
Yeah.
So this is a great, easy go-to option, especially if you don't need anything specific, like one that can also go into a faster rate and become a sort of univibe sort of character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great little go-to. It doesn't sound too bad at all.
Yeah, not bad.
And always you can pair it up with a super overdrive and get really 80s on it.
You got it on crazy.
Full depth.
You play something. I can't think of nothing.
Yeah, not a bad sounding combo. Again, most of these are kind of focused towards the beginner or the hobbyist, but still, I mean, when you can get something that's workable quality for under $50, that's always a great thing.
And then there's a lot of people out there modify pedals now, so you could start with this kind of like a base level, $50 or whatever, and at some point, if you want to tweak it out, there's plenty of people that mod them. They swap out the components for a higher grade or vintage even.
Yeah,
and
Keeley used to do that.
He used to do that with a lot of Boss pedals, and he kind of gave rise to a whole bunch of other people to do the same thing. I know there's a guy local here in San Diego, shout out to Greg, that's modified a couple of my pedals, including an old DOD.
Oh yeah, nice.
He loves them. He's got a ton of old DOD stuff that he collects and
rad, nice,
and puts in high grade components.
I'm gonna have to give that a try. But that's actually a great point you bring up. Is that these are really inexpensive bases for the circuit tweakers out there. And
especially something like a Boss, the chassis on that pedal is the same as pretty much all their other ones, and they're built like a tank and they last forever. I've had Boss pedals that are like 20 years old and nothing ever happens to them. Yeah,
I have friends that still have the Bosses they bought in the early 90s are still functioning.
Yep.
Nothing ever changed. And I mean, you can go to so many places like Antique Electronics or Big Bear Electronics and buy the components. And if you are handy with a soldering iron, I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah, swap out a couple of resistors.
Yeah. Put crap. Came to mind, but a lot of people used to modify the Boss Blues Driver.
Blues Driver.
Yeah.
I got a Keeley modded one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I still use it. It's awesome pedal.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of there's some bassists I know who have modded to just be more responsive to the low frequencies, so it's easy to do. Let's go to the third one in line here. This is a company called One Control, and this is the BJF buffer split. This one, it's not exactly a very audible change to your sound, but a buffer does help out when you have long cable runs or a ton of pedals on your board that each bit of circuitry takes away a little bit of the high end.
Does that use it to kind of boost the signal back up, or does it clean up the excessive noise picked up in the cabling, or both?
I'm very terrible with explaining this kind of stuff, which should improve that while I'm hosting a show, right?
That's all right.
But the word capacitance will definitely come up. But what's going in, it keeps the same strength going out, so you don't have signal loss and high end loss.
Excuse me. So you have it at the end of your effects chain right now. Is that where it's supposed to go, or?
Some people put buffers at the beginning too, but most of the time that I see a buffer on a pedal board, it is at the end. The reason I would go with this one right here, though, this is a really awesome utility pedal, and it's only $76, and we do have them down at Pitbull Audio. This we have it just going straight in and out, but there's also a send and return. So not only are you sending your main signal into a buffer, but you can also send a effects loop through this, so your effects loop is buffered. But you can also use this as an ABY box using the 1 in 2 outs. You can make it a AB I guess that would just be an AB box, not an ABY. And you can also use it as an input AB. You can put 2 guitars into 1 amp and just switch between them. You could also use it as like a control pedal, because it allows you on the on the left-hand side two jacks there to put in anything latching, like something with put in the normally closed on the send, the normally open on output B, and use it like I guess switch channels or depends what you're hooking it into. But it's a really cool little utility pedal that you can do a ton with.
Yeah.
And yeah, stick it on the end of your board.
So you could switch. You could have 2 guitars running into switch in between. You could switch 2 amps with it, I guess.
Yeah. You could have 1 guitar going out to 2 amps because it has output A and output B on the left hand side, and the input and the return effects loop return, which depending how you plug it in can also be a foot switch or the AB box. But it's a cool utility.
And very cool for if you want to have an effects loop, but you don't have one built into your amp.
Yeah,
This is a great little solution. We kind of talked a little bit about this before. I've experimented with running effects loops, and I always kind of go back to just throwing stuff in the front. What about you?
Yeah, I've had a couple amps that had effects loops, and I never really used them aside from maybe a very basic reverb or delay. That isn't the main ones I use that I run, because I just hit the front end of the amp with everything.
Yeah. And when I did use it, I would put all the overdrive, the distortion, the wah in front of the amp, and the modulation stuff in the loop, the chorus, the delay, and all of that. And it was great for that, but the kind of weird thing on my amp, that's actually the one we're using right now. It's the Mesa Boogie F50. I hear a difference when I'm using the effects loop. It seems like it drops the volume level or the punchiness of the amp a little bit. You don't even have to run a lot of pedals through. It could just be. I think I tried it with just running a wire directly from the return to the send, and still something with the circuitry. It seems to kind of take a little bit of the oomph out of the amp.
And some of the boutique amp makers might have the tube buffered effects loop, and a lot of them have level controls. But yeah, I guess it depends maker to maker.
And just for the kind of stuff and the kind of effects I like, it's not a big deal. But if you have you like to use, you definitely want to throw that in the effects loop if possible. Like if you're using the that's the one thing with the Mesa, running the delay in the front. If I'm using the the distortion channel of the boogie, the delay just goes crazy. It's
really?
It gets super loud.
Huh.
So it's good to throw that in the back in the effects loop, but I've been too lazy to do it.
Hey, whatever works in the moment, right? Might as well just keep what's working going. But yeah, I never really paid attention to effects loop or utilized them as much, aside from, like I said, the amp didn't have reverb on it, so I just stuck a reverb in there and basically
and
left that
just
on
leave
top
it
of the
alone.
amp.
Yeah.
But it's not something I pay attention to when choosing an amp. But it is important for a lot of people.
And now you don't have to. Now you got this little gizmo.
Yes, yeah, the BJF buffer split from One Control. And they also make a whole range of true bypass loopers, not like record and playback little pedal looper, which we have one for the second half, but like if you have a big pedal board and don't want to be tap dancing all over the place, you just stick the bypass looper in the front and hook all your pedals into it, so you just are stomping across one unit in the front there.
Yeah. I just realized something with this thing. Even if you use it to run an effects loop, it's still going in the front of your amp. It's just, I guess, that it's your signal gets bypasses all those pedals on the way to it if you're not using it, right?
Wait, repeat that.
So normally an effects loop on an amp is gonna, I guess, goes somewhere between the preamp and the amplifier stage.
I think so, yeah.
But this is still gonna be it's a pedal in the front of the amp. So
yeah.
So your delay, if you're using your amp distortion, the delay is still gonna hit before the distortion. But I guess the advantage of this thing is if you have a whole bunch of effects loops and that are downgrading your signal along the way, if you run it through this effects loop, it short circuits it if you're not using it. It bypasses it and gives you a more pristine signal in, correct?
Yeah. It cleans up any of the signal loss that you would have with the buffer that's built into it, which One Control is known for that, the BJF buffer. It's a maker's name. I can't remember what the initials stand for. But, yeah. Great utility.
Yeah, very cool.
Now, did you have is there anything that you would also suggest to our listeners for good stocking stuffer gifts?
Good stocking stuffer gifts. Good question. Give them a slide. Everyone should learn how to play slide. Don't be like us.
Yeah, I do wish I was much better at slide for sure. I always, a gift certificate so they can buy what they want. But if you happen to know what gauge strings they use, a 6-pack of that goes a long way.
For sure.
A bag of picks.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But yeah, a slide actually is a good one. Learn, buy a resonator, get a slide, play some blues.
Yeah. I'm so bad at it. Every time I think when I was just starting out on guitar, I went through a couple of slides, and I kept breaking them and losing them. Like I would get. I remember one time it was the stupidest thing. I had a glass slide in my room, and I dropped it, and my whole room was like shaggy carpet, soft. It would have. Anywhere else it would have fallen, it would have been okay, but it fell right onto a metal dumbbell. It was like an inch of space that it just happened to hit and just shattered, and that kind of put an end to my slide career, and I've sucked ever since.
Never went back to it.
No. My heart broke right along with that slide.
Does it replay like a flashback in a movie when you're home alone?
Yeah, I just wake up in the middle of the night sometimes with a cold sweat. Shards of glass.
Well, now I know what to get you next year for Christmas.
Yeah, no, I have slides, and I just can't really get too into it. Again, just the type of bands I find myself in now, it's more funk and jazz stuff, not so much bluesy rock.
No, if you have no need for it, then.
But it's definitely a good thing to have, and a good thing to know, and a good thing to learn. We're heading into a commercial, guys. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We got some more stuffers to stuff you with. So hang on, we'll be right back. Then Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio. We'll talk in just a couple of minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping
to Pitbull Audio Gear Preview. I'm Tricia from EnterTalk Radio, and today we're at the Pitbull Audio showroom in San Diego. I'm here with James from Korg, and he's going to tell us about the Korg Electribe.
Thank you very much. So the Electribe is a powerful electronic music production station. Don't let its size fool you. There's a lot of power under the hood here. We have 16 independent parts that can each be sequenced by themselves, really big patterns. Each part can hold a sound, and that sound could be a PCM sound or a synthesizer that you can sculpt yourself. So any part that you pick, you immediately have control over that part. Filters, you can add an effect, and that's completely independent of the next part and the next part and the next part. You can also play any part chromatically, so if I find a synthesizer like that, I can start. And you can choose scales, so now no matter where you hit, you're good.
Cool.
Right? You could also do that with the XY pad.
Oh! Wait, what is this doing?
Well, right now it's just generating notes. So I can do faster or slower, or I could use touch scale, which will just.
Oh, cool.
This also controls effects. So if I go back to trigger mode where I can play live. Kind of dry.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you could choose what parts have the master effect or not as well. So in addition to all of this, a lot of recording.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, in the second half, we have 3 more pedals and a little tiny amp as well. We have the MXR micro amp here, which is just a sort of drive, a basic one knob drive. This one here we sell for $79.99. And actually, I found I like this thing with bass, so I picked up Florentino's uber fancy Moore bass here with this nice spot at the top.
Made locally here in San Diego by Marty Moore.
There we go.
Very talented luthier. He's been making basses primarily, and I'm waiting for him. He's been promising to start building a guitar.
Really?
A custom guitar. So
awesome.
I think that's going to be in the works at some point soon. I keep waiting.
Nice. That'd be very cool to get a custom from him.
Oh yeah.
Get the Sharpen the Axe version. There actually is a fair amount of really awesome luthiers in San Diego. We had Kevin Proctor from Iconic on. What's his name again for Moore bass?
Marty Moore.
Marty Moore.
There's Dan Tucker also in San Diego that makes custom guitars, awesome guitars. We had him on a couple of other shows here. Yeah, a lot of great builders here, and those are just the ones we know about. There's probably a bunch more in the woodwork.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites, Brandon Madrid Guitars. We'll have to have him in. Actually, we should probably do a series of episodes focusing on local luthiers. Would be an awesome thing to do. But what we got here, this is a clean tone.
Now, I'm hearing the clean sound. Is that just getting picked up on the mic? Or is that... I'm hearing the distortion, and I'm hearing kind of the attack of the string. I can't tell if that's the pedal is...
Here, should we shut this off just for a second? We can try it out.
I think I'm hearing a little bit of both. I'm hearing like the clean, You can turn your mic back on.
I was wanting to start
that's
talking
cool.
about it.
I hear the overdriven, but I'm also hearing like the attack on the strings.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of dirt on the higher end of it, but you still maintain that
the punchiness,
that low clarity. Yeah,
very cool.
I mean, most of the say the modern boutique bass pedals tend to have a blend on them on the drive ones,
right.
So they can go between. But I always thought this was pretty cool that it just has that natural tone, and without having to be a heavier distortion or sort of doom sounding sort of thing.
I'm not sure if I could figure out all those controls though. That looks complicated as hell.
It's so complex. MXR, why did you baffle us with this? They actually do make a like deluxe version of this. I forgot what it's actually called. That has a little bit of EQ control over it, but I mean it's such an awesome, simple, kind of like the chorus we had on the previous section. It has one job and it does it pretty damn well.
Now does the gain knob does it just add saturation, or it doesn't control the volume level?
Well, let's give it a shot here. So we'll turn it all the way down. This is bypassed. Turning it on.
So I guess a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And on the high end, you do get. Whoa, is it driving the channel?
Yeah, it's driving the channel a little bit. Turn it down.
But on the top end here, maybe the last like 3/4, it does get much heavier. Yeah. Max fuzz there. But yeah, for $79.99 for a guitarist or a bassist, it's another great, cool gift for them.
Very cool. I guess we can't really hook it up to a guitar right now to see, but I'll be curious to check it out later.
Yeah, maybe after we do the other devices we have here, I'll just put a quick link between. But if we go to the next one here, we have another Joyo, the D-Seed, a dual-channel digital delay with 4 modes. This one surprised us. This was $85, and at Pitbull Audio, when this came in, we kind of raised some eyebrows.
And this looks like a high-end pedal. This does not look like your typical Joyo. You said what? 79?
85.
85?
85 for this guy.
This looks like a $300 pedal to me.
It is built like a tank. It's pretty great sounding. We'll set it on the regular digital delay. What's neat about this is it actually does have tap tempo. You have to hit both switches at the same time in the tempo you're going for, and then you hit bypass the right hand side switch to get out of it. So it is, yeah. Oh, hold on, let me.
Oh, it's a looper.
It's not supposed to be, but
it is now. I'm not playing that.
I might just have made it do a cool little error. That's awesome.
Did you just discover another function of this thing?
Until I killed it there anyway. Yeah, this. As with all digital pedals, they have their own little quirks. Let's try mode 2, the analog. Yeah, not bad sounding.
Yeah. I'm almost hearing like a little kind of like a modulation thing in the delay.
Well, it's that analog. Like the first one we had is digital
kind of thing.
Yeah. So the analog is much like a tape delay. Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah.
And what's cool, it has this A/B switch on the left-hand side here, which you can go between two favorites. So you can have one on digital and the other on reverse or modulation, whatever you want. And also has, I should mention, an external foot switch, so you can go between the two either the two modes, the A/B or I don't think it's for maybe it is for tap tempo as well. But I know it does definitely go between the A/B. Let's give the modulation one a try. Pretty cool. This one does have modulation and like a chorus going through it, and really popular these days. But when you get feedback with it, you kind of get some cool effects out of it, like because of that modulation. So you can do some really spacey stuff with it. It always comes back to David Gilmour with us.
I have a problem. I may need help.
You're going to get really trippy with this next mode on it.
All right, what do you got?
Let's hear the reverse here. Nice.
Are you experienced? That's cool.
So play with dynamics. The reverse delays are always fun in that respect.
Very cool.
There's one way that I always test any delay out, and that is seeing how it oscillates when you put it into its max feedback, so it just keeps repeating and switch with time. And this one, it has like all digitally controlled delays. It does have some weird quirks to it, so. Usually, when you go down, when you shorten the time and it starts oscillating like that, when you draw the time back, it'll slow it down. It sounds like you're bending time, but it doesn't with this one. But was it? I forgot which one. I think it was with the modulation. I got some oddities out of it. There we go. Cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's,
again,
you do some
back to,
freaky stuff with this thing.
right? Yeah. I just want to try it really quick while we can with the reverse and see what happens. Too much fun. But yeah, I mean, that is a awesome delay option for $85. Four modes.
For sure.
You can go between A, B, channel A, channel B on it, so you have two favorites down at a moment's notice. And it's not huge. It's well built and compact. So yeah, if you're willing to spend still under $100, willing to buy something like that, guitarist or bassist in your life,
who's been trying so hard all year.
Yeah.
But he's just not that talented, so he needs to hide behind a lot of effects and trippy things.
That's what a lot of people say about me. That seems so familiar. Now, next in line, we have a great beginner's looper from Electro Harmonics, the 360. This has 11 memory slots for, I think it's 360 seconds across all of them. So not 360 seconds in slot 1 and 2, but 360 seconds to divide however you want. So here, how about I'll switch this while you lay something down on 3, 2, 1. And you can play over it. You can set I'm almost completely removing the loop here, but I can bring it back in. It has its own level control. Now, I think we can overdub with this, too.
Else.
Sure. I'll just go to another slot.
Start from scratch.
Yeah.
Kill it.
I know.
How do you kill it?
There we are. Finally killed it.
It's just kind of like a...
All right.
It's still doing.
I'm going to go slot 3, which I hope is empty. I'm going to try this again. All right. Let's dub something over that.
our timing's a little off here, but that's very cool. So you could build them on top of each other by going through those. How many did you say there are?
There's
slots?
11 slots here, but you can overdub as much as you want
on each one.
Yeah, which is another common feature across loopers these days. But I didn't really mess with loopers too much until recently. I wrote a review on the Pitbull Audio blog you can read and got the TC Electronics Ditto X4, which is a feature-packed one, and has a dedicated stop button, which I like about it, I can actually get it to turn them off when I need to. But for someone who's just wanting to get into the looping world, a 360 is a great option, and despite my fumbling with it, as you heard a little bit ago, is pretty damn easy to use.
Yeah. With the loopers, the kind of the key talent to them is to be able to start and stop it right, on the one. Or
and that's one of the great things about getting your first distortion early on. I think now people should get loopers because it's a great practice tool. You learn to you don't always have someone to play along with, even though you should be always seeking someone out when they're not available, or you're alone at home and just want to jam out still. You can lay yourself down some rhythm and practice. Also
for composition.
Exactly. For writing, it's a great tool, and I'm finding it helps your time. Like I'm using the looper in the band I'm currently playing in, and we've had to work on our timing really solidly because I lay down a loop that goes through the whole song, and if we speed up or slow down, it's just instantaneously sounds off. So it's forcing us to be better, be better human metronomes. Still work in progress, but it's one of those things I never thought about because having to play like bands that play to sequencers or click tracks live, how on you have to be. It did give me a new respect for people who do a lot of that. Or like a band called Battles. The guitarist loops, overdubs, and I think he manipulates the loops in various ways while still playing over them live. And after messing around with loopers and learning how to play along with them, like, okay, wow, my timing sucks. And that gave me more respect for bands like Battles or L1011 that really utilize them. But yeah, this guy right here, the Nano Looper 360, is $91. Not too bad, and a great starter. Do you ever mess with loopers much, or?
No, not much. I like them. It's just it actually drives me crazy. My delay is I have a Boss DD5 that's got one setting on it that's got a little bit of a looper, but only like 4 seconds or something, or like very very short, and so all I could do is like, and that's it. Like I can kind of loop that and play over that.
And it a lot of people had the what is it, the Line 6 DL4? Yeah, and that I've seen people utilize the looper in that in amazing ways, especially guitarist Nick Reinhardt from Terra Melos. He does insane stuff with the DL4's looping section and glitchy sounding stuff. But loopers are now a rising category of pedals and effects that are great. I wish I had gotten into them much younger and mastered them.
I really should pick one up because for jamming along with myself, I love doing that. And sometimes I'll do it with actually like some kind of recording software that I'll plug into, but this is definitely a lot easier.
Yeah, it's
working out solos.
Yeah. Like you said, for the compositional stuff. And when I don't want to go into my garage and turn up the full rig, I do need something small to play in the living room that won't bug the upstairs neighbors, and I could use the looper in front of that just to practice along to. But a small amp like that is actually our next item of interest here, and it is the Black Star Fly 3, which is a neat little tiny amp that's perfect for the living room size. It's got 2 channels. You can do clean or overdrive. There's built-in delay, and you have a auxiliary in, so you can plug in a media player and play along to stuff, or and headphones out, which you can also use as a line out.
And whoa. I love this thing. I actually brought this one from home. This is the only thing here that's not from Pitbull Audio. I love this little...
Even though we do sell it.
Yeah. And I've actually been playing this thing a ton, more than any real amps, just because just messing around at home, learning songs. Like, that's got awesome tone. That's running on what, like...
5 or 6 double A's, I think?
Yeah, something like that. And... that's kind of a little bluesy thing. You could also throw a bunch of distortion on there.
Nice.
Which is cool, but I really love just kind of the bluesy, a little bit of dirt. And delay.
Yeah, let me mess with the delay on there. I want to see what range this thing has.
So yeah, you could be like a kind of give it like a little bit of a just a slap back if you go back to the.
Yeah. Let's turn it up, the delay, and see how trippy this thing can get. Very cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of little amps these days, all the like a micro terror size or I forgot what the little Vox one was called, but even those still get a bit too loud for playing in a living room or something, or in the night. This is a awesome little option.
And the amazing thing about it is the batteries just last forever. I've had these batteries in since like May, I think, of this past year. And I've been playing it a lot, and it just they don't die. It just keeps going and going.
Nice. And they also make an extension, little same size extension cabinet for it, so you can get the like the ping pong delay thing going with it. We sell them as a set that way too, but you can get just the Black Star Fly here, as you see it, for $59.99.
Yeah. I've even been using it as like a little auxiliary speaker for it to just like run YouTube on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It sounds great. The auxiliary channel on there, just plug my phone in there while I'm doing dishes or something, play some tunes through it. It sounds awesome. I love this thing.
So rather than burning out the speakers on your iPhone, you can just plug right into here. But that's
well, it sounds way better. It's got some low end to it. It's pretty punchy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. And you were also mentioning that you use it as like a trainer as well, because it's got the aux input.
Yeah. I'll just plug a computer into it or a phone with YouTube, a song I'm learning for a band, and just play along to it. And you could kind of adjust the mix just right and play along. And it's an awesome little tool.
It's definitely try one out. A great little living room or room amp. We're running out of time here. Quick, I also wanted to show another thing you can get. I'll do it in front of this camera. The Groove Gear fret wraps. We sell a 3-pack of them for $29.99. Right there for muting strings. All right, thank you guys for tuning in again to Sharpen the Axe, our post-Christmas last-minute gift and Christmas money's on.
It's not too late. You could still give someone a gift. Don't be cheap.
Yeah, or for the birthday. You never know.
Yeah.
So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Until next time.
Sharpen the Axe, EnterTalk Radio. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me here on EnterTalk Video. Learn how to make the